2, 1. Okay, I think we're live.
I think we're live.
Let me see here. This is where I usually have. I'm usually looking to see.
I mean, it says live in the bottom for me.
It says live in the bottom for me, but what I don't see is
it actually in the Facebook group?
Yeah, let's check Facebook and make sure we're live on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Oh, fantastic. Yes.
Look at us. We're a bunch of nerds.
The thing is, I can't see people's comments, though.
Yeah, this is going to be great on the podcast.
Well, you know what, though? Nobody's watching right now, according to that.
Oh, no, we got one watcher.
We got 2 watchers. If you're watching, can you comment on the video? Because we're testing out a new system, and we don't know if the comments work.
I'm actually wondering if this video is even working, because it looks really shoddy on my end. But
yeah, yours looks like it's just shot like the original iPhone. Here, I'm gonna hit a button here and see if you know what? People's comments though. Okay. Can I have
Katie's autograph?
Okay,
yes, you can.
It's working. Okay.
Yeah, it is working. Fantastic.
Right, I'm gonna fix out of that so I don't kill my bandwidth. All right, folks.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, which we're going to do. This is our first ever time doing it live like this.
Yeah, we normally only go audio because first off, our rooms look incredible, and also the bandwidth of video is intense. So we're gonna pray that we make it.
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
So Ryan, if you want that autograph, you can just send me a self-stamped or postage or whatever, like some of your own postage and
Send it to 7777 Concord Road, Redwood, Tennessee, 37027, care of Brentwood Baptist Church.
And we'll send you back some stuff.
Yes. Folks, yeah. Well, welcome to the first ever live recording live on video recording of the Church Communications Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Daryl Girardi, and with me, as always, the one, the only, Katie Allred.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I like your lighting choice. I like the lighting choice for tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to decide. I was actually kind of making fun of myself. I can turn my lamp on in the back with just my phone. See how cool this is? So I can just do it with my phone because the future is here, because I'm really lazy. I like to lay in bed and do that.
You don't know is that she's holding up her iPhone, hitting a button, and it's turning on and off. This is the future. This is the future that we all been waiting for. Thanks.
I can do it in my living room too. It's great. Like when I walk in the house, all my lights turn on because I know I'm here.
That's fantastic.
I have to have something.
Oh, that is fantastic, Katie. We've got something we've never had before, folks. We have an actual sponsor. Katie, do you want to tell us a little bit about today's sponsor of the podcast?
I would love to, Daryl. So today we're brought to you by Social Media Church Labs. As you know, we've been working with a ton of churches on communication strategy, and one huge key to church growth is using Facebook. And that's why we're excited to share that our friend and Facebook ad expert, I'm going to butcher his name, Alejandro Reyes, Katie, just announced a brand new free training he's hosting called The 7 Sneakiest Facebook Tricks That Can Double Your Church's Facebook Engagement in the Next 28 Days. And spots are filling up fast. He's actually the group image this week is also brought to you by him.
It is.
So you can find the link really easily in our group, but we'll give you the link. It is go.socialmediachurchlabs.com. He's given away the exact social media system he recently taught to 300 of the fastest growing churches in America. If you and your church are using Facebook, then you're going to love these 7 tricks to help you reach more people and grow your church. You can register for free at go.socialmediachurchlabs.com. Again, that is go.socialmediachurchlabs.com. He's also giving away $500 in Facebook ad credit. What? To someone live on the webinar, and a 30-minute strategy session on how to use that. So go ahead, go to go.socialmediachurchlabs.com, register today. I mean, how easy is that?
It's super easy. When we started this group and we had people that we wanted to work with to do stuff like what we're doing right now, one of the first people we got to talk to and hang out with via the good old internet was Alejandro. And I will say I have had 2 long conversations with the guy and he is a completely solid person who knows what he's talking about. And he's the kind of person that I know that we want to partner with. So we're super excited that he is helping us out and sponsoring today's podcast. Well, folks, we're going to change up a little bit of what we normally do. Normally, Katie and I interview an expert, a guest, somebody who's doing what you guys do. But we decided to do something different. We thought we were going to talk about some of the latest things going on in the world of church communications. And by the way, that whole chatting we got going in the video, just feel free to ask questions. We're just going to keep this as spontaneous. We're going to try this new format, see if you guys love it. And if so, we're going to keep doing it. So there we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
So our first story we want to talk about is Amazon is looking at doing a new messaging app, which I'm not so sure about, Katie. What do you think?
Yeah, I was reading about it today, and it just seems pretty crazy. It's called Anytime, right?
Yes, that's the name. That's the name of it. Anytime.
And you're supposed to be able to send text and video with your friends, which I guess, isn't like a crazy idea because, we do that through everything. Yeah. I almost just want to think, when I read, I was like, one more messaging app because, I feel like I have so many and I'm, having to keep up with so much. I'm like, Can we just create one app where all these messages go into it? Because, Facebook, email, Twitter.
What was the one for you may have been middle school, elementary school. For me, it was high school. What was the one IM chat app? Was it Trillion that took all of your AOL and put everything into one?
Yeah, that was it.
That's what I need. That's what I need for all my messages app. I need a Trillion on my iPhone. Just puts everything in one.
Yeah, I remember MSN was super cool for a long time because you could show what you were listening to.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
When I was engaged to my wife, I think that was literally our form of communication because it was free and we didn't want to pay long distance phone charges. But I sit there, I'm kind of going, I'm with you. I'm kind of going, one, what's the play? Why? Right. And then I'm also kind of going, how is it going to take off? But then because here's the thing, there's a great blog called Stratechery. So it sounds like I said strategery. I didn't. It's called Stratechery. It's written by Ben Thompson. And Ben points out that he's a former Apple employee and also worked at Microsoft. And he points out that in order for messaging apps to scale, you have to scale really super fast because in order for you to want to use a messaging app, your friends have to be on it as well.
Yeah. So, isn't the appeal supposed to be you only have to know the person's name? That's what they're saying. You only have to know their name. Literally, that's it. No numbers needed.
Exactly. So I was thinking about today. I was like, well, you know what? Amazon has. Who do you know?
But isn't Facebook like that?
I guess that's true. But I'm thinking, who do you know that doesn't have an Amazon? Who do you know who doesn't have an Amazon?
I can see the pull
account.
Of that because there are some people who have deleted their Facebook accounts, or whatever. So I guess I can see that. It's encrypted, which I think is really cool.
That's true.
Especially for some government stuff.
Yeah.
I can see that might be more important.
So it's end-to-end encryption on it?
Yeah, it works everywhere, so you can chat on desktop.
That's true, and I'm assuming it'll play with Alexa.
Probably. Yeah. It doesn't say that in here specifically, but
no, it doesn't. Not in the article.
But I'm gonna just assume that it probably will.
I'm assuming, it'll play with Echo and Alexa. Yeah. So I think it's pretty amazing. I think again, but when we talk about messaging apps in general, though, Katie, do you see this something as the church, when we talk about church communications, does that even play into our world? Or because you and I haven't really said how do we any messaging app for that matter. I think
those bots, messaging bots on Facebook is I think going to be a really cool thing once we figure out what to do with it. I know a lot of people in our group have some cool ideas, especially the guys over at CB Outreach. I think they have some interesting bot things going on where you can chat and do kind of almost like not a drip sort of thing, but where it just follows up, it continually, you'll ask it a question and then it'll be have you visited the church before? Yes or no? And then you say yes, some automated stuff.
Yeah.
Are you interested? And do you have children? So yes, I have children. And then it leads you into more things, I guess, some automated trails, I guess.
There's this creep factor there. Is that really the questions you're asking? Do you have children? Do you like long walks on the beach? I'm hey, let's just keep this professional.
I know, yeah. What age bracket are you in? But these are totally normal questions we ask on a connection card, so not too creepy, I guess. But it's just a different format being in a messenger bot.
That's true. Then I guess,
We could like replace the connection card with a messenger bot.
No, that's true. You could. Now that'd be great if you could just say, "Hey, everybody, open up Facebook Messenger and just message so and so, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and we just gather the information." That would be fantastic. Anything to get rid of the, pretty crazy. Anything to get rid of the card. I'm all for that. So that's the Amazon.
Amazon anytime.
Yes.
Coming at you. You know what? It's not in the App Store yet, though. I did look for it earlier because I was like, oh, okay, let's see what it's about, and then not there. So. Still coming.
All right, next story. 9to5Mac is reporting that Apple is going to reportedly updated the App Store policy to stop ad blockers outside of Safari. So basically, are they blocking ad blockers? Are they blocking them? I'm trying to figure that out.
I can't figure it out either.
So I'll explain why I picked this story and why I think it matters. Is at some point ad blockers are becoming more and more apparent, and we ran into a problem. Do you remember with version 1 of our website, the problem we ran into?
So we had some of our divs in CSS, in our HTML that were class equals ad.
Yes.
Because they were technically ad spaces on our website.
Right.
Internal ads. I mean, not like Google ads. And because they were labeled ad in any sort of way, all the ad blockers actually blocked those spots. So
I would open it up like 3 different browsers when we were doing testing before we went live, and I was like, nothing's coming up. I just get a white screen with our logo.
Well, and luckily you had the ad blocker. I mean, if none of us, like Josh and I, who are a web developer at the church, we didn't have ad blockers installed, so we were like, oh, we're fine. I don't know what you're seeing. And we realized it was an ad blocker. So that's something I think is super important is if you have your church website, make sure you use some ad blocker extensions on Google Chrome and even other, all the browsers really, and just see what your website looks like with an ad blocker on just to make sure it's not blocking something important.
Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, I think you're exactly right.
Nerd talk.
Yes, totally nerd. I'm afraid some of this will be nerd talk. So if you don't like nerd talk, I'm sorry. You can write comments and say we hate nerd talk. That's a low
piece of hanging fruit. Like that's an easy thing you can do when you're looking for your website. So
next story, and this is about our old friend, at least my old friend, MySpace.
MySpace. Yes, I was really interested. So apparently, MySpace. It has its moment. It had its moment in the sun. I remember MySpace being so cool. Like you put your bulletins out or whatever, and it's like tell me your personality, and you wrote in all these things. It's kind of like playing MASH back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, or share this 5 times because your mom, somebody's gonna die because you didn't share it. Jesus won't love you anymore. But anyway, back to MySpace. They apparently went through a massive data breach.
Yes, they have.
Recently, in 2016, actually. And during that time, everyone that was a user before 2011, so basically all of us.
Yes.
We were all they removed all of our passwords and said, if you still want your account, you're more than welcome to come and get it. Yes. But you're just going to have to reinstate yourself or whatever.
Right, exactly.
So what's crazy about that is that this girl who wrote this wonderful article, I'll post the article over real quick for you. Okay, so the article, what she said is that basically anyone can come and get, anyone can say that they're Katie Allred and go get my account. Don't do it.
All they need is just a little bit of information about you.
Yeah, so you need to know 3 questions about me. Or something. So, which probably anybody who knows me from high school could figure out.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's funny because I remember it's gone through a whole bunch of iterations, but it does one, for those of you who use the same username and password for everything, you may want to go check your stuff. But 2, it lets you really just know we're entering into an age where as things die, it's really important that you don't use the same password for everything, because as things get sold off, those databases get sold off.
Including the passwords.
The passwords, all that stuff goes with them. And if you're not aware of what's going with them before you know it, I mean, even today, I was like, oh, there's a service that our church used to use for online volunteers called The Common. So I went there to go open it up because somebody was asking about it. And I was like, oh, we're gone. And I'm like, well, where did all your data go? Who'd you sell it to? So this MySpace thing is a little, I say scary. It's a little bit reminiscent in terms of like you're reminiscing about MySpace, but at the same time, it is a good reminder that,
your data is not that safe.
Your data is not that safe. Use user,
password manager. There's LastPass, Dashlane, 1Password, RoboForm is something we use at work.
Yes.
Really, there's so many. There's a lot of free ones now. If you go to producthunt.com, you can find so many free ones now that are available. It's really just silly not to be using a password manager at this point.
Adam McLaughlin, I don't believe you. I think you always had a MySpace account. I don't believe you. I don't believe you for a second.
He never used. You know what I did back in high school? I sold MySpace themes. Remember MySpace themes?
No, Todd Atkins, don't delete your Beam account. What's that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Everybody had a theme on MySpace or whatever. Yes. You could buy like a thing. So I sold MySpace themes to my friends for like $20.
Yep.
So I was like, rolling in the cash back in high school.
If you ever want to do a deep dive, there's a wonderful podcast. Is it a podcast? I think it's a podcast, an article. I think it's a podcast on the guy who basically hacked MySpace so that every time you visited his page, basically you automatically added him as a friend. And then when you scale that out, and like he went to 800,000 friends, I think, like overnight. And anyway, it's when Rupert Murdoch owned it and Fox got the FBI involved, et cetera, et cetera. It's a wonderful, interesting story. I believe it's Tim Ferriss's podcast. That's what it is, the 4 Hour Workweek blog. Check out his podcast. It's fantastic. All right. So let's talk about some social media and let's do this. Let's, okay, we're gonna jump to the last story because I want to talk about it because I want to talk about our friend Matt Pearson.
Okay.
Neil Patel, if you don't know who Neil Patel is, I consider one of the smartest people I know when it comes to social media.
He's the best, and he's always in his pajamas on his website.
He's always in his pajamas on his videos.
Super inspired.
It's super inspired to think that he works out of his pajamas. Neil Patel, which is just Neil Patel, Neil, and then Patel, Patel.com. Neil he runs Quick Sprout. I want to say he's just really good at what he does and writes really good content. And so he has a great blog post on should you create a company blog or a personal blog. And the reason why I posted it in here is a part of a larger meta conversation that I don't know if you all have in the church comms group with your pastor, and that is the tension between creating a personal brand versus the church brand. And I say, does your pastor struggle with that? Does your pastor going, I want to be the next Matt Chandler, John Piper, TD Jakes, whatever that is? Or are they kind of like, I don't want to do anything. In fact, I don't even want to use Facebook. Do they shy away? Katie, you have dealt with both of those personalities.
Yeah.
You've dealt with people that don't even, and then you got the people. So talk us through your latest, I want to say success story. I'm going to brag on you a little bit with our West Franklin campus pastor.
Yeah, so Matt Pearson is our West Franklin campus pastor. Just a tremendous man of faith. I mean, I just really enjoy learning from him. And it's been great because he came to us and was just really passionate that he wanted to teach preachers how to preach better. And so we were like, that's awesome. And we thought about it and we were like, that doesn't fit into the church's website. But we knew that he had been faithful to create content in the past. And that's the thing, like a lot of pastors or a lot of ministers, they will get an idea and get on a tangent and they'll think, oh yeah, I'm going to run with this and I'm going to create tons of great content. It's going to be wonderful. But they don't actually follow through. So, and that's a problem. So I like to give people like a small key before I give them like the whole house. Like I like to give people a room and say, decorate this room before I give them a house. Yeah. So, before we had let Matt blog on the church's website and we let him, we gave him the keys over to his Facebook page and said, hey, could you do Facebook Live every week for your church? And he had been so faithful to do Facebook Live every week. I mean, he did it on vacation last week. He's done it in his car on the way to church for Easter because he had forgot to do it.
He did. He put the phone in his dashboard and kept driving and did Facebook Live at the same time.
I mean, the man is committed. And so I was like, okay, I think I really do trust him to do what he says he's going to do. And he says, I want to equip pastors. And how can you help me do that? And so I was like, let's do it. So we created his blog. It's mattpearsononline.com. Love to send some healthy traffic over there because he's just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And I think he does sermon illustrations every Friday. So if you need a good sermon illustration, I think he's an excellent resource. And he would definitely message you back if you add him on Facebook or whatever. He's just a great, great man. And so he's got blog posts scheduled till the end of September. I mean, it's July. So that's really awesome. On the other hand, there are people who need to blog but just aren't there quite yet. So just give them something small to accomplish until you feel like they can do something bigger like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that we've had to walk through with our pastor was he wanted to create a personal brand. So Mike Glenn wanted to be, it's MikeGlennOnline.com, and he wanted all these things. He wanted a book deal, and he wanted all this stuff. And I say it like he was being selfish. That was not him being selfish at all. But the reality is, I think when he
did that, he wrote a book.
He did all. He's written 2 books. He's done all that.
Followers on Twitter. So
but when he understood the grind of what it took to actually like make that work, he was like, I'm good not doing that. And then he looked at you and you and I, Katie, and he was like, what do we do? And I think what he's come to the realization, which I think a lot of pastors have to be comfortable with, is 2 things. One, it's okay to be on social media, talk about the church, love the church, brag on your church. In fact, when you do that, all of a sudden you put a name and face on the church than more than just that logo. The second thing he's come to realize is that when he's on social media, he is talking to our church.
Right.
And he is talking to our church. He's preaching to our church. And if the world happens to listen in on the conversation, fantastic. If they don't, that's fine. But when he does that, he understands the power and the impact of that. He really is equipping our church. And honestly, where he saw that with Bishop Joseph Walker, who is at Mount Zion Church here in Nashville, whose Periscope game is like, he's got like 60,000 Periscope followers or something like that. Something really ridiculous. So he's become
someone to follow for sure on social media. Is Joseph Walker.
He's fantastic. And so anyway, we got that from him. So if your pastor's struggling with that, and they're like, I don't want to be a face, I want to be a celebrity, help them understand that it's a great communication tool just talk to your congregation and don't worry about anybody else, and everything else will fall in line. Yeah, that's what I think.
And I appreciate that. Do we have any questions? Anybody?
We've got Adam McLaughlin says, yes, my pastor wants to be everything about team, but doesn't see the potential and how people are attracted to his personality and his specific perspective. Then I would say, and what's his sermons on Sunday morning? The sermons on Sunday morning are, and I say that, I know they're more than just his perspective, but I mean, the reality of it is, I mean, it's hard for me to show me a church where somebody's not attracted because of the pastor's preaching. I mean, maybe there's a church like that. I don't know. There we go. Next article was, Katie, we found this from socialmediaexaminer.com, which is another good resource. They're a little, some of their stuff's a little redundant, but I think they've got some really good stuff. And they have a post on how to improve your Facebook videos with Facebook Video Insights. Katie, have you used Facebook Video Insights yet? Oh,
yeah, sure. I mean, it's pretty easy. Yeah. No, I don't really have a ton to add to it. What I like to do, and I guess, yes, I definitely have, because on our page, even just a couple of weeks ago, remember I pulled all these stats showing, that sermon clips for us are big wins. And so what I love about being able to go into the Facebook insights for video specifically is that I can see what kind of content is working with video and what kind of content isn't working. And then I can also see what kind of clips are working, what kind of clips aren't. And then also we just started doing Square video on Facebook exclusively. And it's been just an amazing knockout of the park for us.
Why Square? Because I actually have staff members stop me in the hallway and go, why are we doing Square videos on Facebook?
Because they're cool, Daryl.
Beyond being cool, why?
I don't know why, but people seem to click on them more. I wish I had a really specific scientific answer. It just seems to be that, our feed, you don't read your phone like a horizontal reading. You're reading it vertically, and video just seems to fit better. I mean, like the square video seems to just fit better in that format.
That's true. That's a good point.
Especially, yeah. So Adam McLaughlin just said square videos take up more space, vertical space, which makes a lot more sense. We've also started doing Instagram stories, which I know I'm going off the Facebook video track. We started doing Instagram stories too, where it's just short, like 15, 30-second clips. We try to break the sermon down in 15 seconds. So we're so fortunate that Mike Glenn is so tweetable, and that he often gives nuggets of wisdom in 30-second clips.
There's nothing like telling your pastor, by the way, I took your sermon and I condensed it down to 15 seconds.
He loves that though. He's like so pumped about it. He's like, that's incredible. Let's do more of it. So
let me ask you this. Do you see, because I've heard conflicting reports on this. Do you see Facebook continue to push this live video? Do you see them when we've all talked about the algorithm and what gets posted and pushed? Do you see live continue to be the thing that is still number one in their mind? Like they want live.
For Facebook, I think there are two things. I think live video definitely is still a really huge thing. I've heard also that this is not number two, but I've heard Facebook is even getting into creating their own content.
Yes, I've heard that.
So who knows what that's going to look like, and if it's going to interrupt our content. I have no idea what that future looks like. And then number two, I think, after seeing Mark Zuckerberg's community summit, he is pushing people towards groups. Yeah. And so,
which, by the way, if you've not watched that, go on Facebook and find it. I think it's on Mark's page. Mark's page. It is a fantastic talk on Facebook groups, and I'll be honest with you, I watched it and it felt like a whole bunch of small group leaders were in a room sharing.
I think that's why he visited so many churches. He wanted to understand how to create community, how to create small group community, intentional community. Like, I think he was just trying to gather so much knowledge from how the church has done it for thousands of years and how we will continue to do it, and then put it into Facebook groups, because there are so many groups that are so supportive. I mean, obviously we're in a group right now and we all feel like it's a family, it's a community. At least I feel that way. Like, I feel like, this is my family. But then at the same time, there are other groups that I know have to feel so much more supported, because there's groups for people who have diseases or sick kids or that kind of stuff. And I know they support each other in such meaningful ways. And so, so groups are definitely going to be a huge part of ministry in the next, at least 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think you're right, though. I do think Facebook is going to start getting into more pre-produced content. The funny thing is that one of the other stories in the newsfeed was that Amazon is going to start thinking about going head to head with YouTube and Facebook by letting individual solo publishers starting creating content for Amazon. So I think everybody's kind of converging on this. I mean, who knows when Amazon will decide to do their own live, user content. But I still think for live is where it's at. I think I'd be interested.
Well, and YouTube's coming out with their own Facebook features where you can actually just write and share images.
Really?
Yeah, so they're trying to become like a normal social media platform where you can just share regular updates. Like, I guess kind of pulling the Google Plus into the YouTube aspect. So you don't always have to share a video to update your followers, essentially. So
that's fascinating.
It is interesting how all these things are converging and meeting, and how Amazon's trying to get into this game is going to be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work for them.
Right.
But I think it's going to be an interesting time to see. So
yeah. And let's see here. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about this. Social Media Examiner also had a great article on how to legally use images in social media marketing. We get this question a lot in the group about.
Can I use this image? Can I pull a video off of YouTube and play it in my church?
Yes. So it's got a great article. It breaks down the basics of copyright for you. If you want to read that, reads basically how terms of social media platforms, make sure you understand how each social media platform treats images differently in terms of copyright, in case you didn't know that. Also understanding the license. I was working on some branding stuff this weekend, and I had to go back and read all the licenses of standard versus extended. So make sure you understand those things. So And we at our work, I mean, gosh, we read those things pretty with the fine tooth comb, because we want to make sure that when we buy a stock image, it's used for one project. It's not supposed to be used for another project again.
Right.
You may not know that. You may think, hey, if I download an image from iStock or whatever, I can use it as many times as I want.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Make sure you read that license
Even
information.
with music as well, like sometimes you have to download the music again to give yourself another license to use that music for another project. It depends upon the music software you're using, but it's something you just have to be super careful about.
Yeah.
And so I shared that with you, and we'll put it in the podcast description, and we'll put it on the show notes on the web.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's all the news feeds we got. So let's do this. Katie, you want to do the open Q&A time?
Yeah, let's do some Q&A time.
All right, folks. This is the part of the podcast. Again, we're experimenting with this whole new format, so we're going to do Q&As. I love this feature. I can watch and still walk around Facebook. So if you got a question for us, hit us on up and we can read the comments and give shout outs to whoever wants a shout out, that kind of stuff. Again, we're just experimenting with this format. We're also favorite flavor of ice cream. Katie, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
My favorite is peach during the summer, and then cookies and cream the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh, I don't eat ice cream, but if I did, maybe I'd probably do chocolate if I could.
How many cats do you have? None.
No. She's got a roommate who's going to be her future sister-in-law, who's also one of our graphic designers.
That's true. I live with a roommate, but not a cat.
Her sister's an amazing graphic designer. She just produced a magazine for us, which we're super proud of. She beat out 106 other people for the job. So
yeah, holler to Lindsay Baker, soon to be Lindsay Allred. I know, it's a fantastic last name. So,
Katie, is there anything else social media wise that you're working on? You want to share with the audience?
Gosh, I feel like I'm running on social media, really. I just feel like it's just like something I constantly cannot keep up with. So besides the Instagram stories, really trying to get a handle on those, creating more content for the sermon, extending the sermon throughout the week.
Have you officially ditched Twitter yet?
For myself personally, or for
both?
It's just not what it used to be, and there's not really a ton of community on there like I feel like I had before, where I felt like people were constantly. I only really have Twitter, so I can complain about things. So don't go to my Twitter and read my @ replies, because it's all me complaining about stuff. It's just. I think our
pastor's the only heavy in-depth Twitter user I know.
Yeah, and the only time our church gets hit up is when it's on accident. Like this guy who had 44,000 followers on Twitter accidentally marked our church as this guy's church, who it wasn't our church and it wasn't that guy's church anyway, and just was like, this church is hateful, da 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 da. Anyway, and and I didn't want to correct him. I'm sorry, you meant the Brentwood that's in California and not the one here, and but we just let it go, even though it probably got retweeted 300 times. So I mean, those things happen. I'm just really not, and honestly though, we got no real backlash out of it, which it kind of surprises me, and it makes me think, okay, maybe Twitter's not that.
We dodged a bullet.
It's for the trolls, Twitter's for the trolls and for complaining, and it's just not a happy place. I mean, Facebook can be that way, but we just delete everybody.
So in the comment section, you let us know what are the channels you say these are the one you're keeping up with. Adam asked, are you doing Instagram stories, Facebook stories, or Snapchat? We don't really touch Snapchat.
We really stopped. We have one. We were doing stuff to it for a while, and then honestly, we felt like the ROI wasn't there. So why invest your time? Twitter is easy. I mean, we don't invest our time in Twitter because we auto post our Instagram to it.
Yeah.
But we're not investing time in Twitter, and we're not investing time in Snapchat.
We're all in on pretty much the following: Facebook Live, Facebook itself, and Instagram stories and Instagram. I mean, those kind of the four pillars of what we're working off of. And thanks to Alex Lyons, who's may or may not be listening right now, we are diving heavily into YouTube.
Yeah, and we're
Alex has
excited
been
about
talking
that.
about getting our channel up and running and getting that, and
Alex has
and
really been very helpful in making our social media videos
yes,
so
he
much
has
better.
killed it
So
lately.
we're very
Alex and
happy with
Mallory
that.
have crushed it on
Yes.
that.
So someone said you keep up with your own social media accounts. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We have no assistants. It's just me.
It's
and
just
Daryl.
us. Yeah. So you just so you guys know, in terms of you right now are listening and watching the social media, the entire social media team right here. It's us two.
For 7
And
churches plus this whole entire group. I mean,
yes.
except that we do have 2 helpers, Ed and Brandon. Shout out. They're doing
Yeah.
great. We're so happy.
Oh yeah, but this group we have help. Yes, good Lord, yes, with this group we've got help.
Yes. It was so hard when we didn't have help. So we were so grateful for them.
The number of posts that got flagged, or like I would wake up and be like, well, "You have 100 people want to be members of the group," and like,
And we had to go through each one. I mean, because we literally we would click through, and we still do. Like we click through every profile before we add somebody.
We do, yes. For those of you who don't know, we try to do that as much as possible.
Are you trying to be Wilson?
Oh wow!
Or is that a pop filter?
That's a pop filter. Oh, I love it. For those of you who know, I'm old enough to realize that was a home improvement joke. So there you go. That's a pop filter because I'm notorious.
Daryl has his mouth covered for those of you who are listening to this on the audio feed the entire time, which is fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go. So what else, guys? What else? Give us what are the social media channels right now that you are heavily engaged in? Are there ones that are on the horizon that you're kind of like, hey, I kind of dig this? Where are you spending your time?
I'm digging, and that is Facebook groups, which is so funny. I started a Facebook group, thought I would never start one for our church, and then I did today. Whoops.
Yep. Did you start one for our church today?
Not like for the overall church, but for the choir.
By the way, that's actually how I would find out in real time. That's an actual, what you just witnessed was an actual team meeting.
Yeah. So I'm catching him up on what I did today. I started one for the choir, for Brentwood Baptist Choir, and then I started one for West Franklin, the church as a whole.
Okay.
Which I'm just going to add at the beginning, like 15 key members. And then we'll move towards adding the entire church. We're still trying to figure out what should be the description of the group. Should there be guidelines? Like what can people post? What can they not post? Right now, my only thing that I'm doing specifically with it is I'm making sure the admins, of course, can be the only ones who can add or decline people, but also that admins are the only ones who can add or decline all posts. Right. I could make it to where only admins could post, but I don't think that really increases community. So I'm trying to figure out what can we do. I don't want to just be a big billboard for us where we just post things. But the great thing about a Facebook group is that everyone automatically gets notifications turned on in a group usually. Yeah. And I think that it's going to be a great place for internal marketing, and our pages will become external marketing only.
Yeah. So that's one of the things, like we spent some time with a multi-site expert, to use that term. And I believe she was an expert, so I'm not trying to say she wasn't. And one of the things she said for us was we really need to have a really heavy division between our public and private facing stuff, that it's okay to mix some stuff up, but you need to kind of, your website, and I think everybody here probably understands this to a certain degree, really needs to be more public facing. So we're trying to create real community
almost
online.
Just like your website. It really needs to be public facing, first time guests, so there's some things you have to keep, I know, for internal use, but that's what we're trying to do, is just figure out the delicate balance between internal and external.
Yeah. And and honestly, what we'll tell you is that like we struggle with it because we have ministries inside the church that like are, why aren't you promoting my stuff? Why is my stuff not on Facebook? Why is my stuff not, you didn't post my link to my, event.
80-20 rule. 80% of the church, I'll post it. Does it affect 80% of our people?
Yep.
Maybe. I mean, but the thing is, like, links are so hard. Like, unless you have ad money, it's really hard for us to justify posting it, because it's going to decrease our organic reach, not increase it. And that's hard to explain to an average Joe user, that's what's going to happen. They just say, I just want it posted. And sometimes I just post it because, can argue with everybody. But
yes. And sometimes you do feel like, I mean, when you sit there across from the senior adult minister and you tell them, I'm sorry, but you generate 0.5% of all internet traffic to our webpage. 0.5% of people are looking at your stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you're not going to be on the menu bar at the top.
Right.
You walk away feeling like
So, Joshua Poe, Alan Poe.
Yeah.
He just said, I had a church member create a group, Friends of Jahng Church, which is like a thing that Facebook used to really promote, that Friends of Mike Glenn, like it would be like me, you, and Josh. Yeah. Anyway, and so it says it has 100 people. I have an uneasy feeling about it. We like to control the content. So far, it hasn't had any negative posts, but if there are, I'm not an admin. I would definitely see if you can't get control of that since your name is in it. You have, I don't know if he's still listening, but if you have like copyrighted your name, then you might actually be able to, like, I don't know, probably just talk to him first, because I don't want you to have to send a cease and desist letter to a random nice lady in your church. Say, hey, we want to be a part of this. Can we?
But we had the same issue with one of our campuses. I don't know if you remember, Katie, we had somebody do a secret group for the launch team when we were launching the campus. And I said, I'm okay with it, but you need to disband that like once we get the thing up and running, because you and I weren't running it, and then we weren't sure what was going on. Right. And then all of a sudden I got a lot of reluctance from the person. They didn't want to give it up. And then finally, like, the good thing is the group just kind of died and faded away. But we've dealt with that as well. The
problem with Facebook groups is that you can't just delete them. You literally have to delete each person and then archive the group, and it just lives on to archive forever. Like, people can search it and whatever. And that's great and all, but it's just
so wait, you're telling me that if we ever wanted to end this group, we'd have to go manually delete?
We would have to delete 10,000 people. So we would definitely hire somebody on Fiverr.
And have somebody on Fiverr do it. Okay, that's good to know.
But we will gladly give it away before we.
Jared writes, I'm making a transition right now. Staff members aren't getting it. It sucks. I will tell you, Jared, it's interesting you say that. I will tell you where we've struggled with it is that the mistake we've made and we've continued to make, and we got to fix, is when we get new members on board staff and they come in with these grandiose visions for their ministry. I want X video. I want this on the website. And like, literally they'll give you, they'll literally want to even give you layouts of what they want. And you kind of go, our CMS, our website doesn't do that. And X, Y, and Z happens. That we've talked about part of the onboarding process for a new employee we sit down with them and we kind of lay things out and say, here's the way we do what we do. And here's why we do what we do. And that hopefully can alleviate some of the stuff that, like, Katie has. And I say that like we get that brunt. Katie gets more of that brunt than anybody else.
It's so much fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Well, whatever comments we got on here. Let's see here. What else we got? Hey, Seth Muse. Let's see here. We got Alejandro's on here. Who else?
I think we've had a great show. I think we can probably just wrap it up. Even though we have the most viewers right now, I just don't want to leave you guys hanging.
I know. I'm the same way. I don't want to just jet.
Oh,
and then again, I'm not even sure how I'm gonna edit this audio.
Jared asked, are there any tips for merging multi-site Facebook pages?
Trying to get rid of 20 different pages and just run one.
Hey, I hear you. We have a lot as well, probably 40, a lot.
We had, when I came on staff, I'm not kidding you, I want to say we had, counting sub-sites of I'm talking separate microsites, people create their own stuff.
Yeah, microsites, a lot of those.
We had 120 URLs, and we had about 30 different websites when I first came on staff.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. And that's just websites, not our Facebook pages, which are 40 still. And merging. So here's the thing about merging different Facebook pages. You have to be I think somebody came in and said that, maybe Seth, be the admin of both pages. Yeah. And then you have to go find the special merge page. You can Google it pretty easily, Facebook merge pages. And then you'll be able to select, after you choose the two, you'll be able to select which page you want to keep. And you can try to merge them from there. You might actually not be able to merge them if the pages are not similar enough. For some reason, I couldn't merge the Brentwood Baptist Senior Adult Ministry into Brentwood Baptist. I I don't really know why. I mean, they have the same name, and then you can't change the name sometimes. So I was like, okay, I guess this is another battle for another day whenever they decide to let me do that later on, maybe. So definitely, it's just to try it and see.
It's a total try and see approach. But I mean, I literally think, again, I think I made this joke a while back. I mean, I really feel like sometimes it's somebody gone in and they were like Oprah Winfrey and they were like, and you get a Facebook page and you get a Facebook page. They just kind of gave Facebook pages out and then
to everybody.
And then sometimes,
or they just made them themselves without asking us our opinion, which is always nice.
So Katie, when do you say it's okay for a ministry to have their own Facebook page?
Never.
Okay.
Let's be honest here. Our Facebook page has the most reach because it has the most people. So why wouldn't you want to put your message on our Facebook page?
Exactly.
Unless, I mean, I get it for our children's and preschool and students, they have their own pages. And I get that because there are some messages, I guess, like I don't personally care. I don't have children, so why would the children messages apply to me? But then I'm also a church member, so shouldn't I care about VBS and shouldn't I enjoy, I don't know, it's not going to bother me to see pictures from Vacation Bible School because I'm a church member. So, I don't see where those things are a bad idea. We have the most reach than any of them, so I think it's probably better to just give them the keys to the bigger kingdom than for them to create their own tiny little.
We actually had an issue lately, not so much with Facebook groups, but with ministries wanting to start their own Instagram accounts. Mm-hmm. The one caveat I think to all of this for us has been the student ministry because they create such a consistent flow of content that's so unique to their niche, and they also get a lot of traction on their content. Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, I'm married to one of the student ministers.
I was about to say, spoken like a true
like I'm married to the girls minister. So I've also got to keep that in mind. But that's kind of like caveat.
I can see the caveat of both. Like I can see where it's good for them to have their own separate place. And I can also, because there's no categories for these messages. Although apparently, you can now add status updates to an album, like your personal page.
Really?
Yeah, so you can add your own albums. So I could make church communications like an album on my personal page and just add stuff to that. Yeah, any status update or whatever.
Yes, Jared, we have a process for post requests. It's called our communications request form.
And we have a Facebook Live about that a couple weeks ago.
Facebook Live. I did a Facebook Live on how to build a communications request form. It is literally the lifeblood of our entire system. Everything has to go through there. So I don't accept email requests unless you're the senior pastor.
Or the executive pastor.
Or the executive pastor. And those are usually drive-bys where they come by my office and just knock on the door and say, can you do X?
Do this now.
Yes, but other than that, everything else runs through that form. I don't care. Again, I even told my wife during dinner one time. She goes, "Can you guys do this for me?" And I looked at my wife and said, "Sure, put in a communications request." She didn't. She stared me down for the rest of dinner.
She didn't blink an eye.
Yes.
She's like, Daryl.
She gave me the evil eye.
I can see that about her.
Yeah. There you go.
So you can definitely find that training. If you click the videos tab, you should be able to find Daryl talking about that because he's a cool guy. All right,
Katie, you ready to wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up because I'm getting sleepy. It's 9:18 here.
It's 9:18, and I've got to go. I'm gonna go exercise.
You're a baby.
I've got a 15-week-old that I hope stays asleep while I go exercise. Folks, one last thing before we leave. Once again, we want to thank our wonderful sponsors at socialmediachurchlabs.com. Go to go.socialmediachurchlabs.com. Check out this webinar that I got going on about Facebook. Alejandro Reyes is leading it. We told you at the beginning, Alejandro is a wonderful, fantastic person. We love him. I personally think he's one of the good ones, if you know what I mean.
So he's going to be doing a Facebook ads giveaway where he gives away $500 of credit.
500. Seriously, that's amazing.
So you might as well sign up just to hope you can win that.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm going to sign up now.
So go check that out, folks. And thanks for joining us. This is our first experiment. Tell us what you think about this format that we're doing.
Yeah, leave us some comments.
Leave us a comment. I'll edit this, and we're actually going to post this onto the normal podcast feed as well. And you know what? While we're at it, we'll put it up on YouTube. Why not? So there we go. So anyway, you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.